So we've all been watching the death toll rise in Central Texas, in the Hill Country, as we've seen George Stephanopoulos, Rosie O'Donnell, um, legislators like Chuck Schumer, and just many other Democrats and media pundits attack Trump, blame him, and saying it's because of the cutbacks with the National Weather Service. This comes from Fox News, just one of the many updates they've been doing throughout the day here. Tuesday, grief has turned into frustration. People are looking for answers. They want to know who should be held accountable. What should have been done differently, says one of the folks there on the scene. Here they are vulnerable, angry, devastated, destroyed, and the Democrats come like Satan to lead them and to point to who is to blame, who the boogeyman is. It's Donald J. Trump. Well, that's a lie, and we'll go into that in just a second. More than 100 dead now. At Camp Mystic, there are some of these cabins with 8-year-old girls, the entire cabin gone. All the girls dead. Just couldn't find all the bodies just yet. Can't find them yet. Beautiful 21-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 22-year-olds serving there. It could be my daughter, your daughter. Couple of things, as we now know, this is wild. The GOP budget cuts. Oh, it's Trump's budget cuts. They're not even taking effect until October 1st of 2025, which is fiscal year. That's when fiscal year 2026 starts. So you have to wait 2.5 months before a cut has been made. No cuts have been made. We know now the National Weather Service office in New Braunfels, which covers Austin, San Antonio, Hill Country area, had 5 meteorologists on staff in the office instead of the normal 2, because they always do this when there's severe weather coming in to prepare for this. They did their job. In fact, 9 push notifications to the cell phones of anybody that was in that area, including, if you look at the timeline, it is beyond obvious that local authorities in Kerr County and the cities and the towns in that area and the camps, sadly, are to blame for not stopping this. Not getting the kids out, I should say. Between 2 and 7 a.m., the Guadalupe rose, according to the Texas Tribune, from 1 foot above, whatever normal, to 34 foot. It reached its peak around 6:45 a.m. So the peak was 6:45 a.m. That's hours after the warnings were issued. In fact, the National Weather Service gave flash flood emergency the absolute highest you could possibly do, while the river height was still under 2 feet. So it had 32 more feet to go before anything like that happened. In fact, major flooding is considered anything above 20 feet. So it was 8 feet. 18 feet less before when the most alarming and final most alarming warning was given. By the way, at 6 a.m., they had a 20-foot stage. So you still had at 6 a.m., which is an hour and a half after the final most devastating, outrageous alert. You still had an hour and a half before it got to 20 feet, let alone 34 feet. What does that mean? 9 times updated, starting at 1:14 in the morning, including updating the forecast to 10 inches, I think Thursday night going into Friday morning before it hit midnight. This was a drop of the ball of Kerrville City. This is a drop of the ball of Kerr County, and the drop of the ball of the camp outlets themselves. Guess what else? This from the Wall Street Journal today. Officials pushed for a better warning system for years before deadly floods. Wall Street Journal reporting former Kerr County Sheriff advocated for a flood warning system with outdoor sirens in 2016, again in 2018. In 2016, the Journal reports, even as other Texas cities and counties adopted to sound this whole system to sound alerts, local alerts ahead of floods and other natural disasters. They did it in other local areas. Kerr County chose not to do it. The sheriff pushed for it again and again. In 2016, in a meeting, then the commissioner of the county commissioner there, Kerr County, noted other Texas locations had these state-of-the-art flood warning sirens, but they weren't used locally, even though this is probably one of the highest flood-prone regions in the entire state. They could have had it. They could have done it. The sheriff said in an interview Sunday with the Journal that Kerr County considered picking up the tab itself, but didn't include the cost in the annual budget. It was probably just, I hate to say the word, priorities, trying not to raise taxes. So here's the thing: they did put up some barriers over low water crossings, but other areas did this. There's no excuse, and you can say budget and they say, "Oh, it's Republicans. Oh, they're Trump people." All BS. It was not put in the budget. Period. Second of all, this from the Wall Street Journal as well, their editorial board on Tuesday. The local weather office, National Weather Office, had extra staff and upgraded its precipitation models and forecast repeatedly from 7 to 9 inches on Wednesday night to 20 inches on Thursday evening. Thursday evening, before midnight, 20 inches. There's no excuse by the local officials, and God bless the man who was in charge of that camp. I forget his last name, but it's Dick. Yeah, Dick Eastland. Did Dick and Tweety and all the other RV camps and other camps that are along there. There's a lot of private camps, not just Camp Mystic there in the Guadalupe area there in near Hunt, Texas. Did they get the alerts, the 9 alerts that were pushed to their cell phones? Do they have NOAA weather alert radios? I mean, they're in charge of the camps. I'm not ripping them. I know Dick Eastland's dead. God rest his soul. He died trying to save those beautiful girls. But it's less convenient and politically expedient for the Democrats to blame the campers and the county because it doesn't get them any gain. This is not pretty sick. This is very sick. Now, I'm going to tell you about this too. A physician, a pediatrician out of Houston, Dr. Christina Probst, put this on Facebook. May all visitors, children, and non-MAGA voters and pets be safe and dry. Kerr County MAGA voted to gut FEMA. That's a lie. They deny climate change. They may get what they no climate change is not real anyways. May they get not to what she's claiming. May they get what they voted for. Bless their hearts. So she's literally mocking the children and their deaths. The Texas Medical Board has not decided if they're going to pull her license, but her employer, Bluefish Pediatrics, fired her at the hospital where they have treatment privileges. Uh, also denounced what she had said and said she's not an employee. Meanwhile, this insane woke BLM, sure leftist, Sadie Perkins, who used to be on a mayoral commission uh, up until January of this year, posted this. I'm sure you've heard about this, but she put this up. This is so vile.
I know I'm probably going to get canceled for this, but Camp Mystic is a whites only girls Christian camp. They don't even have a token Asian. They don't have a token black person. It is a all white only conservative Christian camp. If you ain't white, you ain't right, you ain't getting in, you ain't going. Period.
It's a total lie, and it's just a vile hatred she has for white people, I guess conservatives. I don't know what. Shame on her. Her boyfriend actually is a pastor at one of these Universalist Unitarian churches that says there's every way to heaven. There's like a million ways, which is not true. There's only one way through Jesus. But her Universalist Unitarian pastor, who's in charge of a church in Texas, in the Houston area, renounced and denounced what she said. He's like, "It's my girlfriend, but she's wrong. It's not, the church." Like everybody in the church, they're all outraged, and I guarantee you, almost all those people there are liberals. Um, but even they are disgusted by what she said. I don't wish harm to anybody, but she's going to get whatever she threw out there. She's going to wish she never said that. But I'm glad that it came out to show the level of hatred and sickness that's out there. Here's a beautiful, sweetheart, young survivor.
Through videos and pictures on my mom's phone.
Really good friends lost a daughter that was at Camp Mystic. They've just had so much loss that, I mean, it's unimaginable. And then, they're still pulling people out of the river, and we don't even know to the extent of who we know that has lost their lives.
My friend Nene was just so funny. I've been scrolling through videos and pictures on my mom's phone and watching it over and over again. Her dancing when she's excited.
Yeah.
It's just vile to see all these people ripping this apart with political garbage. I want to close with a song. This is survivors of Camp Mystic on a bus driving through the hell that they were rescued from. and it's the most beautiful thing. They're worshiping God as they're being taken away from this hell.
I'll be a living sanctuary for you. The kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. Alleluia, alleluia. We shall not live by bread, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. Alleluia.
God bless them.